Oscar, look, a DeLorean. What's up, everybody, and welcome. Oh, look what we got. We're back to the manor. We're actually going to the 38 here. The lift was locked out last time. This time, we made sure it's unlocked. So we're going to jump on the boat. We got a reverso pump problem. We'll check that out. We'll move on to the next one. Yeah, last time we were locked out here, so this time we can actually put her down. We've had some weather today. If you look, still around us right now. The rain just cleared, so everything's all wet. All right, jump on here. If you watched any of my videos previously, you know the reverso pump's been kind of a pain for us. Make sure our house battery's on. Let's get this opened up. We'll get down there and see where the reverso's mounted so we can see if it's working or what's going on with it. All right, first things first, let's get some water pressure to it because it doesn't work if you don't have water pressure to the system. Sounds like something's running already. We're down on our starboard side here. I can already hear water pressure is pushing past one of these solenoids, it looks like. It shouldn't be running right now. I haven't pushed the button or anything. Yeah, so our starboard motor's got water coming through it and I haven't even pushed the button. Let's push it and see what happens. And we got a flashing light. That's normal for the 7.5 minutes per flush. But obviously one of these solenoids has went bad. I'm just gonna replace it quick. That way we can just move on to our next job. It's already been done a few times in my video, so we'll be back when we're all done. Well, as I was getting this all off here, we got the new one right here. Here's the old one. This one says version 2.0 on the box. We got version 3.0. We also just got rain coming, starting to pour. Lucky we're in the hole here. You know, we've done a bunch of these. I've never actually opened one up. This is hot, which means that's the one that was probably stuck open. These just look like they're washer solenoids or something. They're 12 volt. And I'll just go to this. Obviously there's a little computer board or something switch here inside of one of these. Looks pretty simple. They have a high failure rate though, and I don't know why. Hopefully they've corrected it on our third version here, 3.0. So let me get the new one back together and we'll test it. All right, so we're all installed, we're tied back up. Now let's get some water pressure and see if this thing works. All right, push the button twice. It's already a good start because it wasn't leaking all by itself. Should come right to our first motor here. All right, so we got number one, let's wait for number two. All right, we made it to number two. The rain's just enough to be annoying. I'll double check how much water pressure. We're on number 3 now. Oh, looks like we're good. Good flow to it. Alright, so everything's good on this one. Just gotta close everything up, pack it up, put it back on the lift, and we're going to another Regal. So, I'll see you there. We made it out to our next boat. It's the Regal LX4. I'm just gonna show you the size because I like the red, white, and blue. It's a nice color scheme. This is a simple one. We've been waiting for parts for this one. Let's jump on, I'll show you. So look here, he's got everything covered up. This guy takes really good care. This was at our shop, but our fusion radio is taking a crap, so we're gonna replace it. We got a brand new one we've been waiting for, just like everybody's waiting for everything in this country right now. And we're also going to do one more thing. All these cup holders, they end up draining into our compartment down here. And he doesn't like that because if he wants to get the boat wet or get it hosed off, it ends up going in here, and there's no drains in here. This is supposed to be dry. So we're going to put a little silicone on the bottom of these drain holes here. That way there's no water going to go through, because there's 4 on each side here. 4 there, 4 there. Let's start. Just got to take these covers off the side here. So all you do is peel these off on each side, and then there's screws that hold it in. And get our 4 screws out of here. Now we should be able to pull it out. Towel down so we don't scratch anything. Cool thing about Fusion, they just unplug, so we can just unplug all this stuff and plug it right back in. That's our NEMA connection right here. You can control this through the Garmin's in the dash here. We'll test it when we're done. Get our new one out of the box here. So they even give you a NEMA connection, which we already have. You got new screws and everything. All right, let's plug our new one back in here. Make sure our NEMA's good and tight. There's our plug for our zones. Their power. Help if I put it in the right way. And our antenna. Slide her back in before we screw it down. We'll make sure it works. Let's turn our batteries on. It's a good sign. And we'll let it load here.
Thank you, Lord, for the hard times, for pulling me in.
All right, everything's working. Oh, since we put a new one in here, we're gonna have to find it in our settings. It's not showing up in our devices here. All right, so in order for it to find it, we're probably gonna have to go to our menu. We go into our settings. Should be power options. They call it NRX power. This is what lights up the NEMA to talk to any other devices that it might need to. Yep, and it already found it. Make sure it's doing it on both. Yep. So we got it working on both. Yep. It's all working here. Double check. So yeah, if you ever have an issue with the Fusion not talking, the NRX power is always the reason. You have to turn that on for the NEMA system to work in this unit. Let's put our screws back in. And we're screwed in. Let's put our little covers back on here. Nice and snug. There we go. Put our new cover on. We'll leave this cover as a spare for them since we're just going to return it for warranty. Cover this back up since we're going to cover the boat back up. Turn our batteries off. Alright, so we got some clear silicone. I'm just going to stick a little bit underneath each one of those cup holders to stop it from draining here. You can't really see very well up underneath here, but it's right there. That's the shiny thing is the cup holder. A little silicone on my fingers. Block that off. I'm going to do that 7 more times here. And then I got to talk to the customer, pack it up, and we're heading to our Tiara that had the trim tab problems because we got some parts now to diagnose exactly what happened to it. So I'll see you there. All right, so we made it out to our 43. I'm gonna go check on the customer here and get him outside. Look, these doors are awesome. I'll grab our parts here. We got a few extra parts to make sure what we might need. Hopefully we got the right ones. It's no guarantee. Well, here she is. This is our pretty 43 Tiara. I love that gray. Kind of changes different colors in the light. Let's jump on. First thing we're gonna do is just plug an actuator in and see if it changes our gauge. All right, so if you remember from my previous episode, we just got this thing flashing here. So we're gonna try an actuator first and just see if this solves this, because it could have a bad module in this thing here, or if the actuator could be shorted. Let's find our wires. All right, here's our connections right here. Gonna unplug them. All right, so we're gonna go a different route with this, because if you look, these wires that are for our standard tab here are different. So our Deutsch connector, I'd have to cut all this in order to try it. So I'm gonna leave these attached now. Disregard hooking these up first. And we'll put the new switch panel in and see if that cures it. And then we know we can try the new tabs and cut into the harness if we need to. That way I'm not cutting anything prior to testing stuff. All right, so let's push our attach forward here so we can get to the back of it. All right, so here, right there, it's our harness. We have to cut these ties here to get to it. All right, so we got temporarily plugged in. We're gonna turn our power on and see if we can get this one to work. All right, well, we got lights. That's a good sign. I'm gonna push it, see if it works. Hey, got one. If I let this wire go, yep, auto retract. Oh, that's good news. So let's swap it out now. All right, so I already put our new one in here. I couldn't show you Couldn't get the camera in here where it would hold still by itself because I needed both my hands. We have our wiring run. It just tucks up underneath here. I had to cut the zip ties out. So I'm going to reconnect it. We've got to connect our auto retract function to our ignition. We should be good to go. Alright, so we got everything tied back up. We are all run all the way down. Everything's nice and organized like it was. Now we can fold our dashboard, double check it. Let's turn our ignition on, light our tabs up. We're just going to put them both all the way down, and we'll go look at them and make sure. Yep, this side's all the way out, and that one's all the way out. Make sure the auto retract works again. There's a puppy.
So when you shut it off,
Yeah, it takes a second for the ignition to turn off,
yeah,
and then your auto track function will work right afterwards. You'll see these.
should shut
It
off.
takes like 20 to 30 seconds depending on, see,
There it goes.
when you push that button, it's got to turn off the ignition and all that stuff,
Yeah.
all the components for NEMA. So we are working. Good to go. What's our last stop for today? That's all for this video. I'll see you next time. As always, thanks for watching. Later. Bye bye, Manor.